there was no meeting. There was no meeting. Now, what do we consider a meeting? Anytime two people talk, one can say, we met and we have spoken. There was no meeting where one sit down with another and say, we have an agenda, et cetera, et cetera. There was only one objective. The Minister of Finance, myself, were having lunch. I received a call from one of my colleagues in Parliament stating that Dr. Lloyd Richardson was going to call me since he had asked him, why don't you support the budget? He said he will call the leader. He called me and he said he was home and I can pass by. Now, if it is everybody that I speak to, I have to summon to my office or ask to come to my office, then maybe I'll spend every day here until midnight, because I meet people when they're buying barbecue, I meet people in the supermarket, I meet people at the gas station, I meet people all over. So this was not a meeting where we are going to sit down, the meeting is open, what's the agenda point? It was basically seeking support so that the budgetary process can continue. It was not about forming any government, it was not about forming a new coalition, it was not about forming any national government. And I hope this is the last time I'm going to comment on this or answer a question about this, because for me, it is a non-issue. It's a stochant passé. There is no discussion about it. Of course, there are those who wanted to misuse the opportunity to make it look as if, hey, the Prime Minister was sneaking behind his coalition partners' back. And they used others to forward their agenda to make it appear as if something is going on. When in the final proposal, or the primal proposal, when the leader of the up throughout, let's form a government based on political parties. National Alliance, DP, USP, and UP, and leave all independent members out. UP will get the seats that are held by the independent members. At no point in time did he include what they now call themselves Super 7, or sounds more like a supermarket. It was clearly aimed at leaving out the others. And when this boomerang, so to speak, you now try to close rank and make it sound as if he was speaking on behalf of all of them. Now, wouldn't it be strange or selective that you want to leave out the independent members that left the UP, but the independent members that left the DP and left the USP should be included in the coalition? It was clearly him trying to do something on behalf of his party. Interesting is also that nobody speaks about that today, but when this government got in office on November 19th and immediately started working on getting the election date postponed, it is the same UP that went on a massive public campaign. They took it to Rome, to the Pope, they took it all over the globe, that the human rights of St. Martin people were being trampled upon, that people had a right to vote, and we should not deny them this. There are others who joined in on them, joined in with them in a campaign that this is wrong, we cannot trample on the rights of the people. Now, if UP gets an opportunity to be in government, all of a sudden now it becomes right. All of a sudden, if UP will form part of the government, the same UP now is prepared to postpone elections, not for 6 months, not for a year, but until 2018. Now it's good. If the UP is in government, then things are good. And I want to basically end on this note and hope that we can move forward and focus on the things that this government is doing and intends to continue to carry out for the people. There's an action program. Basically, if one look at the capital part of the budget, one would see that monies have been earmarked in all the ministries to get quite some things done for the people of St. Martin, and that is what is this whole tug of war now. Make sure stall it, make sure prevent them from scoring a touchdown, and that is their good political right. That is their good right to do so. Try and make this government not look good, because the UP was in government for a whole year, since 2014. It took them 9 months to get an entire council of ministers in place, while it took us actually weeks, you can almost say. It has taken them 9 months to plagiarize. Half of their governing program was plagiarized from the red, white, and blue governing program. And then in 1 year, you did nothing. Now you have a government that has an action program that has put things in place to get things done. They had no balanced budget. They got an instruction from the kingdom government. So against that backdrop, you try to muddle up things, and I'll take the discussion from government governing, government moving forward, and all I say we have is basically a delay in the approval of the budget. If they do not want to lend the approval this week, today, tomorrow, the budget will be approved. There will be a majority. Mr. Matza is not going to remain in custody from now until September 2016. But the objective, of course, is to milk the opportunity and now make it look. And now all of a sudden the discussion is, hi, William Marlin, why did you do this? And why did you do that? And why did you do this? It was basically reaching out to a member of parliament, and one has to also put that in perspective. Who is the member of parliament? One who, when he was a member of the National Alliance, sitting in opposition, voted for the budget of the then government led by the UP. And when one look at the opening first round, that member in question did not attack the budget, asked some questions and made some general remarks. And in discussions between him and other members of parliament, he indicated he is prepared to support the budget. Let's talk.
Afford what you crave, life just gets so good. KFC, so good for everyone.
Hey, Bob, you're on family vacation. Oh, but your daughter's got the measles. But don't worry about it. With your Be Sure travel insurance, children under 12 are covered for free.
Are you Be Sure? Be Sure.
Yeah, for free. Oh my, what an inventory list, and so unnecessary. But wait, your home contents are all insured by Be Sure. That means that you determine the amount you want to insure. No inventory list, no hassle.
Are you Be Sure? Be Sure.
Life is a journey full of connections. You're in safe hands, even when life starts too soon. You don't have to miss a single beat. When a bad hair day makes you sad, just sharing can bring you joy and more to come. They take the plunge, turn fear into faith, while you capture those beautiful moments. In the game of life, it's family that counts. They'll be there even when you lose. We all have our moments of reflection and hope. And when you feel you're losing everything in life, we're there, because there's more to come. When life starts too soon, you don't have to miss a single beat. We're here to connect you and share life. Telcel, when you want more.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Need a loan that's quick and easy. Island Finance. Up to 50,000 guineas real easy. Island Finance. For education, a renovation. That's no problem. Yes, it's true. That's not all. They're quick and friendly too. Island Finance. Appliances, vacations, even fix your car. You can depend on Island Finance.
Well, it's Love of Kids, and we're here again this year. As always, we're supporting the Alliance Health Fair because this is a wonderful initiative because everybody in St. Martin can come out and get those nice health testing, check out great health information. We're here promoting Love of Kids Foundation, which is giving assistance to parents and teachers who are working with children with learning challenges like ADHD, dyslexia, autism, and all sorts of other learning challenges. So we've got some good events coming up. We've got Screen-Free Parenting, which is we're going to be doing a workshop at the beginning of April, which is to help all parents of all children to give them some assistance and tools and how to help their children and make a more peaceful environment in their house. We've got all sorts of other flyers that we're handing out and giving people information, how they can recognize learning challenges, what they can do. And we've got some of the DVDs that we show at our annual film festival that we hold every November at the University of St. Martin. And just generally talking to people and getting the information out there and having a great day.
And this lady next to you, what does she do?
This is Miss Beverly Gibbs. I'll let you tell her.
Hi, I'm Beverly Gibbs. I'm the director of the ITCL. This is the I Too Can Learn Center. There we work with children that has autism, Down syndrome, and learning disabilities. We have some flyers as to what the different challenges that a child may have, and we also have our ITCL book, ITCL Center in pictures. So there is where we display all the work we do. So we've got an iPad donated, so the children are working with the iPad. Here we have some a child that is constructing a little car. We had a trip to Anguilla, and we visited the Blossom Center and also the Dolphin Park. Here we kept a family fun day. So this book contains different activities for people to see, because many people may say, okay, they're not aware that we're there, but we are there, and there's quite a few things we do. So we compose the book so that everyone can see that the activities we do. If you cannot come and visit us firsthand, you can at least look at the book and then see what happens there.
Where I am part of the Love of Kids Foundation, and I have been standing talking about dyslexia And we've had many parents and caregivers and educators asking about dyslexia. They're finding that more and more children are showing symptoms and signs of dyslexia. And so everybody wants to know what's the first step. We had a specialist, Miss Leacock, who just left to go off and actually test some children. So she was here talking about dyslexia, what it looks like, what are the stages versus the ages. And when it shows up, you know, it's not always at 3 and 4 because Johnny is busy, but allow him to get into a school system and allow the teacher to be the first person to advise you as to when to test for dyslexia. So ages we have talked about testing for dyslexia will be about ages 6 and 7. And then you would meet with your student care coordinator and then follow up with a battery of tests. And once the child is diagnosed with dyslexia, and then there are things that can be put in place that can be done right here in St. Martin. That is actually in place right now.
We do glucose testing, blood pressure measuring, cholesterol testing. And we have added some activities this year because we have been able to bring a podiatrist from Curaçao because we don't have one in St. Martin yet. And she is doing free food evaluations. And we have been working on our eye screening campaign, whereby we give out vouchers so that people can get free eye screening tests done with the fundus camera at the White and Yellow Cross. This camera takes pictures from behind your eye so that they can see if there are not small bleedings, and if those are not treated, that can lead to blindness. And what we are also doing is we are providing a test that is called the HbA1c test. That is a test that gives the average glucose levels of a person over the past 3 months, so that we can see how the levels have been and what should be done about it, because the result of such a test shows you if changes in your treatment are necessary, if your medication has to be changed, or if your dietary situation has to be adapted. And that test is very important because it controls the management of your diabetes.
Would you say that you have a very good turnout today?
I would say so. I was just starting to count the number of people that we have been dealing with, so I don't know yet how many. But it keeps us very busy.
Keep you very busy?
Yes, definitely.
And the information that you think that people are satisfied with the information that they're getting?
Well, absolutely. Yeah, because one, it's free, and you can get all different sorts of tests done in one spot pertaining to your diabetes.
Okay, and I know that no matter what functions is going on, you're always there, you're always at different locations, probably every weekend.
Throughout the year, 4 times a month, we are somewhere testing, so that people, if they want to know their status of their possible diabetes, they can find us 4 times a month.
How many years are you doing this now?
Oh, 16 years.
16 whole years?
Whole years.
Wow, you didn't get tired, you still keep going on and on.
Well, the thing is, once a diabetic, always a diabetic. You might be able to manage it better at certain points, but it's a chronic disease, it's there and it doesn't go away. But you have to learn to manage it. You are in charge of your own body and you should be able to control it.
Before I leave you, what's some of the tips that people should look for to taking care of their body?
A healthy lifestyle. Major part of that is your dietary requirements. You have to make sure that you eat healthy and that you move your body. You have to do exercises, and that is whether you're diabetic or not diabetic, it's good for everybody.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
There was a press release with Rebelto and Sons that was sent to the media saying they won 4 bids, 4 of the contracts, sorry. So where did I get my information from? A press release that was sent out by DCOM. So now I'm asking you again, who are the persons that won the bids for garbage collection? Did Boyke, Clean St. Martin, 19 million per year, got how many contracts?
Again, Bibi, there was a bidding process. Companies submitted their bids. In total, 9 companies submitted bids that was in line with the terms of reference. I got a draft of companies that submitted a favorable bid. The evaluation process is ongoing where talks are being carried out with the different companies. I have not received a final version of who is awarded what contracts. So for me to indicate certain things now is premature as the evaluation process is ongoing. I saw a draft, but I have not seen the final conclusion of the bidding process. So I cannot divulge names, who got 4, who got 3, and that information is not finalized as yet.
I would think that if there were desires to have the numbers in the budget amended, that would have surfaced during the first Central Committee meeting, during the second Central Committee meeting, during the first round of the plenary session of the budget. So it would surprise me immensely if now, during the last round of the budget, the last minute, that someone raises something regarding the budget which has not been raised before. I also understood, and I might be wrong, don't forget I'm new to this game, that there's a rule in Parliament that you ask questions, all the questions you want on anything, and that those who did not speak cannot speak anymore. Those who did speak and raise questions are really limited to clarifications and other issues regarding the questions they already asked. So whether that is so or not so, given the stage we're at now, it would surprise me immensely if someone comes, because the budget, as you know, was sent to the CFT for their commentary and their advice. And they made their commentaries and suggestions, which have been incorporated. And they don't seem to have any major issues with the budget. And CFT consists of economists, lawyers, experienced people, accountants. You think of it, they've got it. If they then found things that's wrong with the budget other than what they mentioned in their letter, it would surprise me if anybody else has views that would be of such a nature that at this stage of the game, you've got to go and make changes to the budget. Of course, if you set conditions that have nothing to do with the budget, then those conditions really has nothing to do with the debate that's taking part in Parliament. Because That decision and that judgment has be based on what is before Parliament right now, namely numbers, revenues, etc., etc. Anything outside of that, you cannot hold this budget hostage for desires that you may have that is not related to the budget, I would think.
Perfectly understood. And but all of that aside, they made it, pretty much clear that they will be bringing some amendments. I mean, but how feasible would this be?
Well, if they come with changes that they
Should
would,
they support it? I'm sorry. Should they support it?
well, if they come with not amendments, it's not amendments you're talking about now. You're talking about conditions to support it.
I believe they said
No,
amendments.
I don't want to go by what they said. I want to go by what you're saying.
They didn't say amendments. Amendments was the word used.
But what is it?
It would have. They indicated that it. Should they support the budget, it would have to reflect their position as well, and not just that of the coalition of 8.
Then, like I said to you before, this debate in Parliament has to do with the proposed budget for 2016. Anything that concerns the proposed budget for 2016 is relative and should be raised. But if you have conditions that you would like this government to go home and then you will vote for the budget, well, I leave it to all parliamentarians to make a decision whether or not we're really busy with approval of budget 2016, or are we busy with negotiating for a different kind of government than we have.